This is the brief homily for the 6th of June. Please read the readings before listening to the homily. How do you make a contract when writing hasn't been invented? Well, if it was a modest agreement, you might call on some trustworthy witnesses to listen as you and the other party to the agreement describe what each of you is going to do. If it was more formal, you might set up a standing stone and stand by that stone to recite your agreement, again with witnesses. And if someone claimed to forget, you could say, well, you must remember it's the day we put that stone up, that one there, look. But if you wanted something even more binding and about more important issues, you might use a covenant. One method was to cut some animals in half and make a sort of avenue of halves of dead animal, and you and the other party to the covenant recite the agreement you've made, walking between those halves of animals. Another method would be to kill an animal and pour the blood on the standing stone and then on the people who are making the agreement. In that first reading, you'd remember that day when those bullocks were killed and Moses threw the blood over the people, when they agreed they would keep God's rules. Now, another thing about a covenant that involves the killing of a living creature is that it expresses permanence. If you change your mind about your contract and the other person agrees, you could push the stone over to say, well, that symbolises we've ended that agreement. But if it's involved the killing of animals, you can't say, well, we'll end the agreement, let's unkill those animals. That covenant between God and God's people, made by Moses, is a foreshadowing of the covenant made by Jesus on Calvary, when he offers not some other creature's blood, but his own. He is the priest, the altar, and the lamb of sacrifice. That covenant is remembered. Now, the old covenants were remembered perhaps by meeting around that altar and killing another animal. There was an annual memorial of the covenant Moses made, when people might be sprinkled with blood. Jesus' memorial of his sacrifice of himself is the Holy Eucharist. This is my body, this is my blood, do it in memory of me. Every time we celebrate the Holy Mass, we are recalling, making present the once and for all sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. And he doesn't sprinkle blood on us. We consume the body and blood of Christ, not acting on us from the outside working in, but from the inside working out. There's one more difference I'll talk about. Ordinary food, we eat it, and then by awesome biochemical processes, our body rips apart that food into different elements that we need to build different parts of our body to act as chemical messengers in our bloodstream and our brain. We take food and make it into us. The Blessed Eucharist is different. It makes us into what we receive. when we consume the body and blood of Christ, we become the body of Christ.